You're tuned into News Across the Galaxy, where they talk all things LA Galaxy with the Nag Boys. Let's start nagging.
What a ball for Ricky Peach.
News Across the Galaxy. Keep on nagging, guys. Your six-time MLS Cup champion, LA Galaxy.
Hey. Well, yesterday's match, or Friday's match, kind of reminded me of why they won that title. But we'll talk more about that later. Welcome to News Across the Galaxy, where we talk all things LA Galaxy. I am one of your hosts, Bryant Lobos. And tonight, joining me is Mr. Edward Campos. How are you doing tonight, sir?
I look like a freaking bum right now.
Hey, you look great, by the way.
Thank you.
There you go.
You talking to Edgar?
You.
Oh, okay.
I already know.
And my other host, Mr. Edgar Zuniga. How are you doing tonight, sir?
All right. I'm here in the super secret NAG submarine somewhere down in the bottom of trenches of MLS table. But this past weekend, there was like a little jolt and it kind of started rising a little. So I don't know. Things are about to change.
Yeah, and hopefully they change for the better for the LA Galaxy. But before we get into all that, the world of football loses a young player, 28-year-old Diogo Jota, tragically passed away in a car accident. Those are, when things like that happen, you always kind of feel for his family and stuff like that, especially at a young age. I read somewhere that he was just married, like maybe 2-3 weeks ago. So that's kind of, it's a very unfortunate situation. Played for Liverpool, which is, the team that I root against since I'm an Everton fan. And some of the things that I saw that were pretty cool on the Everton pages, it was the players showing love to Diogo and his family. And, those are the type of things, in football, it's hard to live through those type of things.
Yeah. Let's not be remiss, too. Also, his brother, Andres Silva, also died in a car accident. If you're a hockey fan, it's kind of like the Goudreau twins, the Goudreau brothers that died recently, not too long ago. And it shocked the Columbus Crew fan base and a lot of NHL fans as well. So when stuff like that happens, it's very tragic because people die at such a young age with promising careers, and you're left with the what if, right?
Yeah, unfortunate. To the next topic, another unfortunate scenario. The Gold Cup Finals. USA played Mexico in Houston. These are always the finals you expect, right? Mexico versus USA in a Gold Cup final. All right, what happened, Eddie? What happened, Eddie?
Check the chat.
I got a super chat, baby.
Give me the twinkle, baby. Chiasso.
I can answer that one.
Y'all got another win over the weekend. How long till you pass us, St. Louis, and leave the Wooden Spoon Collective?
Yo,
Never.
This is my homie right here, Jeremy. Jeremy is cool, man. He's one of the really cool STL fans. Well, they're all cool for the most part. But Jeremy, man, I don't know what the heck. Look at fireworks. I don't know what's going on with St. Louis, man. We got issues, but we know why we have issues. I don't know why y'all have issues because you got a new coach and still can't figure it out, and then you got another coach and you still can't figure it out. So, but hey, keep it going, and that wooden spoon will soon be yours.
Nah, fuck that. This is the LA Galaxy. We collect trophies, homie. Hands off all fucking trophy. We're not leaving empty-handed this year.
Yeah, tell Matt he's gonna have to pry it from our dead, cold hands.
It's our wooden spoon. Forever. Funny. Imagine from champion to wooden spoon. That's kind of that's pretty funny. But shout out Jeremy. Thank you for the super chat. Eddie, you were saying about the U.S. men's national team.
No. I was stopping you. I was stopping you for that.
So the U.S. men's national team.
What is it to say?
that they suck. All right, moving on.
Yeah. I'll tell you what I have to say about it because Eddie and I
well,
were talking about it. Go ahead, Eddie.
I you know what? It was expected, right? Like you never want to lose your rivals. I joked, like saying with the people I was watching the game with, it's like, man, this is why I wanted to lose in the last round because I didn't feel like we were ever gonna win the Gold Cup with that squad. Don't get me wrong, the A squad isn't great as it is. B squad, ooh, man knows, right? Um, I forgot his name. I'm so angry. I was trying to make a song about him that I forgot his name.
Patrick
Agumon.
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 Oh my god!
Patrick
I
Agumon?
have to put
Yeah.
this out there, and people that know me, watch this long enough, know I have a certain players I dislike when they put on the USMT jersey. I understand they do whatever for their clothes, but they put on this jersey and it's way too heavy. So Ajuman, you are now in the same category with your Wandos and your Connor Casey's, your Brian Ching's, and as much as I love them,
Ricardo Clark.
no, we're talking about he's in the striker category. Ricardo
okay,
Clark
okay.
has his own category.
Ooh.
He has the Ricardo Clark category.
Yeah.
Damn.
And even as much as I love them as a G, you know, Yazzie's artist is a USMT player. What did he see in him? You had Brian White, who is on fire on the fucking bench, and he couldn't see the field. I couldn't see the field. Ajiman. And then what annoys me was everything like after as if Lala doesn't annoy everyone already, right? How he's talked about like how much they took from this tournament and how good this was for the USMT. I'm like, dude, this asked so many fucking more questions, right? He was saying that, oh, the players when they come in, they're gonna have to adapt to this identity. I'm like, what fucking identity did they establish?
They don't have an identity.
This team is fucking terrible. This playing style is terrible. There was definitely highlights, right? Your Diego Lunas, your Tillman,
Berhalter.
You know,
I thought he was really good.
Old legs, you know.
Oh yeah,
still has something. Maybe not a World Cup. I'd hate to think of a 40-year-old person starting center back for us in the World Cup, but at least he shows he's got some legs left in him. But yeah, it just Lalas was just forcing this, like, oh, we fucking learned so much. There's so much to gain from this. But like, dude, we still don't have a striker. You had an opportunity to look at four different people. I think in the beginning he had Haji Red as well. And we saw one person the whole fucking time that just underperformed the whole way through. He wasted he wasted a tournament. That's my opinion, right?
It makes me wonder.
Last thing, and it's all yours. Sierra Penal. But go ahead, Edgar.
No, I was gonna follow up on what you said about Aguiman. It makes me wonder how much of him getting all that playing time has to do with the fact that Charlotte just transferred him to Derby in Derby County, right? In England. So they're like, hey, let's showcase this guy. Look, you guys getting a steal here. You know, he plays for the national team. He starts with the national team, and then when you talk to the guys from COTFC Fan TV, they're like, man, take this guy now. Like, just take him. Don't even look at his highlights. Just take him, and let us run with the money and go. So they know that giving him away is good for them. But what can I say about this USMNT? I told Eddie this before. This is like the first time in my life where I have absolutely no shits at all about the U.S. national team, which is weird because I love the U.S. national team. I've always loved the U.S. national team, like since like the late '80s. I've loved the U.S. national team, and it's the first time in my life where I'm like, I really don't care what happens to them. I didn't watch a single minute of any game in the Gold Cup. I just knew that they had like a diminished roster and that they're gonna go in there and disappoint anyway. And at the end, they somehow made it to the final and managed to disappoint everybody as expected. But then again, this team has no identity. You keep getting forced the idea that they're gonna turn it around. They're gonna do something before the World Cup happens, which is in less than a year now. They're not gonna do that, man. No, stuff doesn't just magically happen like on TV, right? Eddie, did Santa's little helper end up winning that race after all?
Nope.
No.
Wait. So you're saying we're gonna get to adopt an Ajiman?
Oh my. Yeah, we're gonna adopt him. He's gonna be running around in the background. Hey guys, what's up? But no, Eddie was absolutely correct. If you're gonna take a player like Brian White, who is on fire right now for Vancouver, and use him. instead of wasting him. But I guess if you're a Whitecaps fan, then you're sitting there like, well, at least he didn't go out there and get injured. But at the same time, like Eddie and I were saying before we got on, like you get a guy who's pretty much out of form, I guess, because he hasn't been playing much as far as like your match fitness is concerned. But in the end, congratulations to Mexico. You know, they came in, they did what they had to do. It doesn't matter if you beat the A team, the B team, or a group of like just a bunch of scrubs. Hey, you won, and congratulations to them. So, to Guti, I know he's celebrating, and other Mexico fans, enjoy it, man. Well deserved.
Yeah, we're not trying to come off as salty. I mean, us three here are USMNT fans, so we kind of just like know more about the USMT and like just more focus on them and what they did wrong, right? Congrats to all the Mexico fans. You know, we have a lot of homies that are Mexico fans. Celebrate responsibly, uh, and dude, I wish we had a coach like Aguirre. That's what we need. We need a guy that's gonna slap people around, you know.
Yeah.
The Pochettino, I don't know.
You're not convinced?
No, he's like the highest paid international coach right now in the world.
How is that? Damn.
Yeah,
That was money that was going to go to club.
But we interviewed all these people and we like made the right choice. And the honestly, since this new structure started with the U.S. Soccer Federation, it's a fucking joke.
And then on the opposite side, Mexico looked very dominant over the U.S. today. I'm kind of surprised it was only a 2-1 end score because Mexico they looked unstoppable. I didn't think the U.S. had any real response to how they were carrying themselves offensively.
The only thing the only thing I can come up with is because Mexico's having their own woes, you know. But the only difference is they were down, you know, and now they're rising up.
Yeah.
We were up and now we're fucking going back down.
Yeah, dude, you know? Vega was torching the U.S. defense, bro.
We were so excited to get rid of Berhalter, and honestly, right now, I'm like, dude, we were better off.
You know what? We've said this before too. Well, I've said it before with the Klinsmann thing. I thought we were better off with Klinsmann, and then we went to Berhalter, and now we're with Pochettino. So it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse.
Well, I'm also biased. I'm a Berhalter guy.
Yeah,
I just think yeah, he was done with the U.S. But hey, as of right now, I'm right about Berhalter. If you look at Chicago.
Oh no, yeah, yeah. I mean, MLS is different though. We knew he could do work because he had Columbus Crew playing at a very good level.
He built the team for Caleb Porter to win. I'll tell you.
There you go. There you go.
If you could do that, yeah.
He marked Jackson the Columbus Crew for Porter.
I was gonna say this goes back to the first time he was let go. That's when they should have gone at him and found themselves like a real manager, and instead of waiting so long for nothing. So it just goes to show that the people running the show, a bunch of clowns. I'm serious. I know it's something that we use to describe people that do silly things at times, but how else are you gonna describe like the leadership at the U.S. Soccer right now? It's a clown show. Not that long ago,
how dare you say that, Edgar's clowns make us laugh. I'm not laughing.
That is true. I got my Chespirito shirt, and you know, credit to him. You know, amazing human being. But what I was saying was that not that long ago I read a book that talks about everything that happened behind the scenes as the U.S. men's national team qualified for World Cup '90, and they're talking about how like when they first started that process, they had no idea that they were going to make the World Cup. And at the time, they had no idea that the U.S. was going to end up with the World Cup in '94. And as soon as all that started to happen and everything started to fall into place, they knew that they were out of their depth, the U.S. Soccer. And so they went out and hired the right people to get them on the right track to making sure they can not only host World Cup '94, but get the right people in place so that the U.S. men's national team that was going to World Cup '90 was going to at least be competitive. And they did all that. And they took it seriously. They were very diligent about it. And U.S. did pretty good at World Cup '90, and World Cup '94 was an amazing success, obviously. We don't see any of that nowadays. It's like there's all these great players, this great generation of players. Oh, they'll magically somehow figure out a way to play together. But no, it hasn't happened. It hasn't happened. It's kind of like in England. In England, right? They've always had a long list of amazing players since the 60s. And because of egos and just bad management or whatever you call it, bad luck, they never win the World Cup or the Euros. So the U.S. is kind of falling into that weird limbo too. It's odd. It's really strange.
Well, the only yeah, not even Canada looked good in this Gold Cup. They got bounced. I was one of the ones thinking that they were going to be in the final and did not come to be true. Anyway, congratulations to Mexico for winning the Gold Cup. Now you guys could put that over the USMT's face all year. Anyway, all right, boys. The LA Galaxy play on 4th of July weekend. Did you guys do anything for 4th of July by any way?
Super chat.
Oh yeah, we do have a super chat.
Thank you.
Chewy, twinkle me up, baby.
Oh,
Two
two
super
super
chats.
chats.
What on we can't. The fireworks are so loud, man.
No, okay, yeah. My bad. Adam, did you guys see Houston's comeback win versus San Diego? Any thoughts on the top 2 teams in the West losing to bottom of the conference teams? I did not see it, but I just looked it up. A 4-3 comeback. Did you guys happen to catch any of that match?
I didn't, but I said this before, right? Still to this day, my prediction for MLS pretenders was San Diego. So I think San Diego's is the pretenders this year. You know, like we had Austin, we've had St. Louis. I think it's gonna be San Diego, and it'll show here and there. So I can't say I'm shocked. Vancouver, they lost to the mighty fucking Galaxy, baby. Of course. You hear the Galaxy in 2025 strikes fear in people's eyes.
Adam also asks, Edgar, you have any idea of someone for the midweek show?
Yes, I do, and I will announce that at the end of the show. So stay tuned.
Look at you,
little tease for $2.
It's somebody who's an MLS legend.
Yes. That's pretty cool.
Yes, that's right.
So, what was I asking you guys for the July weekend? What'd you guys do? If you guys didn't go to the game,
I got in a pool. I cooked weenies, and I cooked hamburgers with Guti.
Damn, that's cute. What about you, Edgar?
Jealous bitch. You don't.
I am. What the fuck?
Yeah.
My invite? Where's my invite?
Yeah. No. You know what? Whatever. I'm not gonna talk about it. I'm not gonna air that shit out. Go ahead, Edgar.
I don't remember. I just know that at some point, I think I grilled some burgers and hot dogs at some point, and then at night we were gonna go. The Pomona Fairplex every year has some kind of a 4th of July extravaganza, and at the end they have fireworks. And for the longest time, what you could do is, even if you didn't go to the show that they have, you could pay to and just park in the parking lot and hang out while the fireworks go off. But this year they're like, if you don't buy the ticket to come to the event, you can't just park in the parking lot. And I'm like, all right, fine, whatever. I just watched it on TV. That was it.
I know you had too many Zimas, bro. Slow down, Edgar. Slow down.
What about Chewy? Did you introduce Chewy today?
Oh, no, we didn't introduce Chiasso.
On the ones and twos, Chiasso. I was here 4th of July.
Wait. I don't know what this button does. Hold on.
Oh my god.
Which one was it?
Oh my god.
All right, cool. Because I don't have the headphone thing. So.
Chiasso, how was your 4th?
Why the fuck you lying?
Why the fuck you lying?
Oh, okay, sweet. All right, they're not marked, so that was like an honest. All right, cool.
Well, Chiasso's probably not on right now.
He's playing Candy Crush.
What else later?
Super Chat. We'll get into that one.
Twinkle me up, baby.
Oh, there he is.
Why the fuck you lying?
Adam, thank you. Guys, can I get your thoughts on Lucas Sanabria's performance coming in as a substitution?
We'll get into it.
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll get into it.
Definitely.
Anyway, 4th of July is pretty cool. Actually, the day before, I went to go watch the Dodgers play. My first time ever at the Dodger Stadium.
Ever?
You must have slept great.
You serious?
First time at the Dodger Stadium.
How much did you pay? Like a liver or two?
Yeah. kind of, and I was sitting all the way up top.
It's Dodger
Yeah.
Stadium now.
But the only reason I went is because the hat I was wearing earlier. I don't know if you guys can see that.
Hell yeah, One Piece.
It's a one-piece straw hat, and it was they had a drone show, which was pretty cool. I actually teared up like a little kid watching a drone show of One Piece. Shut up, Eddie.
Wow.
You wouldn't know. You wouldn't know, okay? Anyway, I did
For
that.
a drone show.
It was cool, bro. Hey, don't judge me. It was cool.
I'm judging. No,
I did that on Thursday, and then of course I ended up going to watch the LA Galaxy on the 4th of July. I went into this match not expecting much. I kind of just was there for the vibes, I guess. Some interesting things before the match started. Chewy, if you could pull those up, there were some interesting tifos being pulled up to Dignity Health Sports Park. One of them.
Yo, give me a second.
Yeah, I got you. I'll just
Before
read
you
them off.
say that, by the way, I will say that several podcasters had approached me before, from around the league, and they asked me, "Hey, are Galaxy fans going to say anything about what's going on, with the whole ice stuff and
Yeah,
everything that's the protests and everything that's been going down?" And I said, you know, we haven't had a home game. We didn't have a home game all of June, and so I'm really curious to see what's going to happen. We saw LAFC had a home game, and we saw what happened there, and so did Angel City FC. They had a home game, but LA Galaxy nada, right? No home games, which I guess is kind of a blessing when you think about it, right? Because June was pretty interesting. I can't remember a June that has been like this in 2020 probably.
yeah,
But obviously we knew something was gonna happen. Galaxy fans don't just sit on their hands. So if you got the images, you see them.
yeah. Chewy, if you do got them. Well, so these are two. One on the right side section says, "We like our whiskey neat and our land and people free." And then the other side on Victoria Block, "Fight ignorance, not immigrants." And it's a hold on, give me one. It's a drawing of the United States country with a veteran war hero, Latino, and three other Latino. I needed to do my research on who exactly
Yeah.
they were, but so hold on.
From my understanding, they're all prominent figures that are Latin American that have been immigrants to the United States. So there's an article about it in the LA Times that really sheds a lot more light into it. And Gloria, she's one of the leaders of Angel City Brigade. She's in the article and she talks more in depth about it. But it was more than just tifos, right, guys? Because
Yeah,
that was just the beginning of it.
yeah. Silent protest throughout the match. The walkout. I've also seen a bunch of signs digging shots at AEG. I seen a One Piece banner there. So there was a lot of stuff like that. Edgar was right. The LA Galaxy fan base does not stay quiet, and you shouldn't. And this wasn't like to make the players feel bad. This wasn't against them. This was just a moment for the LA Galaxy fans to show how they feel about what's going on in our city, and hopefully nobody took that to heart and took it in the bad way from the players. But yeah, Edgar, I know we've had these midweek shows, and I've been gracious enough to sit in and produce and listen to your conversations, and you usually touch on these subjects and ask the people around the league how they feel. Could you take us through some of those comments that we have from other podcasters?
Yeah, we've been fortunate to have people that will speak about what's going on. Obviously, we had Matt Baker, who's from St. Louis's Flyover Footy. He shared his thoughts. He said, "I can't believe that this is the America that I live in." He's like, "This is not. I never imagined um, we would see some of the stuff that we're seeing on the news." And he said, "There's so much that you only get to see on TV, and then to hear from somebody who's actually there in the epicenter, or or hear something that's unfiltered news. It's shocking what's going on." And then, of course, we had our good buddy Matt Pollard. He's out in Colorado, and he expressed similar statements. And he said that he said something to the effect of, if something like that would happen to Colorado Rapids fans, I wouldn't just sit in the press box. I would actually go and try do something about it instead of just sitting there and watching it. And then to get an even more interesting perspective, we had the fellas from Terminal City FC podcast. They cover Vancouver Whitecaps. Of course, I'm talking about our buddies, our friends, our guys, Joshua Ray and Nathan Durek. And they were saying how it seems so scary and ominous from the Canadian point of view about everything that's going on. And Joshua, who's he's Asian Canadian, he said, I was planning on actually going down there, for a match. He goes, but after everything that I've heard and everything that I've seen, he was like, I really don't want to go, especially because I'm a minority. He mentioned how a Canadian citizen was actually taken into custody and died in custody because of whatever reason. And so this is not make believe. This is not some dystopian movie like Terminator or some weird Doctor Who episode. This is like for real. This is real life, and it's really happening. Some people will bury their heads in the sand and imagine it's not happening. They will play video games. They will watch TV. They will watch sports and imagine nothing is happening. But when you stick your head out of the sand and you look around, you're going to see that things are different. So this stuff is really affecting us. And we're seeing not just from us, we're seeing that other people from around the league have voices and they're saying, we know what you're going through and we understand and we commiserate with you.
Yeah.
So we're not alone. And it's happening in other MLS cities. I know in Chicago, there were issues and they recently put up a sign. I don't have it in front of me, but they had a picture. There's a picture of some Chicago fans that have a sign, a little tifo that says, it's something to the effect of this is the only sign that was approved by MLS, and that's all it says, or something like that. It's just kind of mocking how MLS has really come down, on some of the teams from expressing themselves. Um, I was kind of surprised that nobody actually went in there and took down those signs from the ACB and Riot Squad section. But can you imagine the scenes if something like that had gone down?
Yeah, nah. It's better not that we don't think about those type of things. Well, I guess we're gonna have to get into this game. I see your comment, match 2408. I understand that you probably don't want to hear it, but it's the truth that's going on in our city, and so we're part of the city. We live here, and we're gonna have to address it. So we are gonna get into the game. Don't trip. We got you, bro. We got you. Yeah. So we're just gonna stay on this one. All right, cool. The LA Galaxy were visited by the Vancouver Whitecaps on July 4th. Let's get with the lineup. Where is it? Oh, crap, I don't have it. I think I can remember it. At goal, Mikovic starts again. On TV, I watched the highlights earlier, and it said, what's the other cat that we got? The guy that we got from San Jose?
JT Maszczykowski.
I was going to say McIntosh. Well, they had put his name.
JT Mike Wazowski.
Mike Wazowski. They had put his name, and it was actually Mikovic that started. Your center backs, Mayo Ishida and Miro Garces. Out left with a surprising start, Julian Alde. Out right, Mickey Yamane. Your trio in the midfield, Diego Fagundes, Marco Royce, and Edwin Cerrillo. Out left, Joseph Painsil. Out right, Gabriel Peck. Up top, number 9, Nasty Mento. Big Nasty. Any surprises in the lineup?
Just out there. That's about it. But it's so cool, right, to have that option. You have a stay-at-home defender on the wing, or you have somebody like Alde who's like not afraid to go forward. So, hey, nice to see him up there. Eddie?
Edgar. Surprises? I guess out there. Yeah. I mean, but shit ain't working, so I'm not that surprised. So I could also say Fagundes, starting in that position because Fagundes, that's not his natural position. And, I want to see Sanabria develop. But I guess Vanny still has hope, right? And I guess he doesn't want to reward Sanabria for underperforming, so it makes sense as well. But surprises, not too surprised.
Well, let me give you guys the first half stats, and then we can get into this first half. Ball possession, 57% for the LA Galaxy to Whitecaps 43%. Expected goals, the LA Galaxy were a 0.34 and the Whitecaps with a 0.41. Total shots, 6 for the LA Galaxy, 3 for Whitecaps. Shots on target, 5 for the LA Galaxy, 0 for the Whitecaps. Big chances, 1 for the LA Galaxy and 1 for the Whitecaps. Accurate passes, 92% for the LA Galaxy to 91% to the Whitecaps. And that's it. The LA Galaxy kind of go in this game and score early.
So you ask, how did I feel after I saw the lineup and before the game? How it was gonna go, Brian? So let me tell you. Since you asked.
Oh yeah, what you think?
uh, so oh shit, I'm dropping my earpiece here. I didn't feel too confident, right? It's hard to feel confident about a team, this kind of team winning games, right? We've seen for what we've seen all season. But I'll tell you this much, I was kind of like anxious and like thinking like where my mentality and how I'm gonna feel about this team if they lose to a, let's be honest, depleted Vancouver Whitecaps, right? They're missing star players. They're not missing one or two people. They're missing their star players. So we're playing at home. We have most of our team available. I wasn't confident about the win, but I like feared the worst if we lost. I'm like, wow, like if we lose this game, it's just the head's got to roll, man. Head's got to roll. Like the whole Vanny thing has to become a conversation. I mean, obviously we didn't lose, but I think the mentality going into the game was more like, where do we go from here? Like this game had to go the way it went. I know you text in the chat after the game like you weren't expecting that scoreline, but if you look at it now, looking back, what they were missing, what we had, and everything is like this is how it should have gone, right? Or am I wrong?
I don't. You're not wrong, but this is the thing though. The Vancouver Whitecaps have been depleted for a lot of the season, and they still compete, and they're still up in the second position in the West. Edgar had that conversation with the guys from Terminal City, and it's been surprising that the Vancouver's is good with the depth, with the players that they're missing, and they're still able to get results. So you were right being cautious about the LA Galaxy not being able to compete with this team and maybe even get a win. But I mean, let's not fool ourselves. Vancouver's good with their stars or without their stars. They've proven it. They're in second place in the West. Edgar,
I was going to say that the guys Terminal City actually mentioned that they just came off a very good win where they shut out LAFC at BMO. And so they were curious to see if the team could somehow carry some of that momentum into this match and whether or not there were going to be some sub, not subs, what do you call it, some rotation in the lineup. But they were still supreme. I mean, like they were still confident that they were going to beat LA Galaxy because let's be honest, this team doesn't give us any kind of like shred of hope that they're going to do well against some of the bad teams. So how are they going to do against one of the best teams in MLS? But this is why it's still surprising, Eddie. I know you're saying like, well, you look at the game. Well, yeah, of course, hindsight is 2020. But going into the match, you're like, yeah, this team is ready to be spit roasted.
Agreed. But now it's like you look back and this is how it should have gone, right? If we lose that game, tie, whatever, if it's any different, you're like, nah, man, this was a fucking depleted ass team. And I'll go back to the LAFC Vancouver game because I happened to watch that game since we're playing Vancouver next, and I wanted one more last chance to laugh at Giroud. But LAFC also didn't play a lot of people because they were coming back from the Club World Cup, so they did a heavy rotation too. So there wasn't a very good like measuring stick in that game. So yeah, I like I said, it's just it would give me like a lot of doubt for next. It would have given me a lot of doubt for next year. It would have started to happen. I think it would have started to bleed into next year it's like, all right, Vancouver is a good team, but we're at home, 4th of July. You know, it should be like a big deal. We have the talent to do it against a depleted team. If we lose, then yeah, I think that my concerns would have started bleeding into next year. So I don't doubt that Vancouver's a good team. I think when they're full strength and they're all there, yeah. I mean, we were just bitching and whining about Brian White not playing for the USMT a few minutes ago. So there, and then I didn't name them as pretender either. I see their style of play and they're a great team, but no, it's just I'm not fooling myself either. Edgar, you said don't fool myself about Vancouver not being a good team, but I'm also not gonna fool myself in thinking that we beat a full strength Vancouver and we shouldn't have beat this team any day of the week with the roster they brought in and what we had available.
Well, good thing that the games aren't played on paper.
I was gonna say there's one other factor that played into this match, and I don't know how much people want to read into this because you're thinking how much of a boost is this going to give somebody. But Joseph Painter after the match mentioned that his family was in attendance. He said his girlfriend was there with their kid and his mom
The
too,
mom,
and his
yeah, I saw
mom
that.
spoke to him before the game and said, go out there and be yourself. Remember who you are and be yourself. And what have we've been asking for this whole time? It's like, we don't want you trying too hard. We don't want Pinto to try too hard. We just want him to do things that he normally does without, trying to force things. And in this match, it seemed like he kind of played with a little less urgency and just kind of let things come to him.
Mm.
Yeah, no.
So the LA Galaxy ended up.
Edgar didn't get to see a majority of the
Yeah,
match.
so the
Let's
LA
not forget
Galaxy
that.
did end up going up early. 2 minutes in, Nascimento puts in
Who?
nasty mento. Puts in a rebounded shot from, I think it was Serio who shot that
Serio,
from
yeah.
the outside, and
From
keeper.
everyone's favorite
Takaoka
short corner
bundled
play.
the ball, man.
Yeah, that was kind of a rare mistake by the Whitecaps keeper because
Oh, that ball was moving, dude. No, I'm not gonna take that away from Surreal.
No, of course
Maybe he
not.
could have done better, but that ball was moving.
And like a true striker poacher mode, he was there for the rebound, puts him back in the net. And then to what Edgar's point was about Painso not trying to do too much in that first half. There was this one play where he had Julian Alde try to overlap him, and he had him clearly open to give him the pass and maybe score another goal, and he overlooks him, cuts inside and takes a shot, and it was a weak shot at that. And it was happening like that for the most of the game until he scored his goal and then the penalty. I do think that he was playing with urgency because I had read somewhere that his mom haven't watched him play since 2014 live.
Yeah.
And so, he wants to show up for his moms. I like that. You know what I mean? It's 4th of July, your mom's visiting, your family's there. You want to score, and show them that, this is the sport that you love and why you doing it and all that. And yeah, he looked like he was trying too much. I don't know if I'm tripping on that.
No, you're not. I agree. We also have to say
I take it back.
Peck, Peck was also guilty of
Yeah.
some of this too, right there. He had Painso actually doing that overlap run that was wide open, and Peck, try to be the hero again. So we saw a lot of that. We saw a lot from Painso as well. I think there's obviously clear one from Alde, but there's other overlaps too that he wouldn't play, like the simple ball.
Yeah.
He started off, we all know how he ended the game with the same issues and same desperation, I'm going to call, that he's shown the last few weeks, the beginning of this game.
Yeah, it was a lot of that. What are some things that you did like about this first half, Eddie? I know it was only a 1-0 half. The LA Galaxy scored early. But what are some of the things that you maybe give you a little hope going to halftime? Like, oh, you know what? Maybe we could pull this off against the Vancouver Whitecaps.
So I made these amazing Swiss cheese with grilled onions, jalapenos, and sauteed mushroom burgers. That was
Sounds
like my favorite part of the
delicious.
first half. Yes, it was. I melted the cheese and the veggies onto it. Phenomenal. And I seasoned the patties, And Guti's on the chat. He could tell you that was probably his favorite part of the first half too. But no, jokes aside, I think what I liked it was there aside from the two wingers, I think there was like some kind of sense of calmness from everybody else. It felt more like last year in a way. I think from the jump, and I know how I said that these are the teams that these games is the way it was supposed to go, but you can only play who's in front of you, right? And this season, games that we thought should go one way didn't, and it did. From the beginning, I think in the first half, right from the first half, it felt like okay, this is gonna happen. Like we're actually gonna do what we're supposed to, and the Galaxy going in was the better team on paper, and the Galaxy was a better team by far, in my opinion, on the field, just from the jump. So I like that from the first half. There was some kind of calmness, aside from the little desperation we saw from the two wingers and Royce and Painstill like hate each other. I'm gonna say that. he just like gets so upset with them every time. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
You know me. I was like oh, let me look at what everyone else is doing.
Yeah.
It's always Royce like 999 or whatever he's telling them. But yeah.
So I was in the mezzanine section in my seats, 232, all the way up top. I was watching the match with Ananda from La Cuna Galaxiana. Shout out Ananda. And there were some things that I was noticing in the back line where it seemed like the wingbacks were more free to kind of push up, and Sorillo would kind of just drop in that slot to kind of play with a 3-back. Maybe that had something to do with how well this team was moving, because they were pretty dominant in that first half with possession wise, getting spaces. Go ahead.
To that too, and I want to add to that too, and that's something that I really liked and really impressed me.
Yeah.
Fagundes was playing really deep too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when he plays that position, he looks, in my opinion, when they've tried it, he's looked a little out. He either goes too wide, he pushes too high up, and he commits, and it creates that gap. And no, in this game, he was collecting the ball like really low, and I think that worked out really nicely. If this is what we're gonna see going forward, I think that Sanabria is probably gonna ride the bench a little longer until he gets used to the league. Because to me, that's what we've needed, right? That's where there's been that gap, nobody to collect the ball, and it's gonna help unlock Royce too. And we've seen how Royce has been playing, and I think this game, has been like
chef's kiss,
even better games.
Yeah, and you spoke about that calmness from the beginning. I think that was Royce's doing. Even throughout that first half, he played well. I don't think he slipped up in the 90 minutes that he was in there. He seemed great in shape. He didn't seem like he was hurting or anything. And I was speaking to Nanda about that, and he was mentioning that last season he was dealing with a lot of injuries, and then maybe now he's actually like fully healthy and is able to step in and play those 90 minutes that we'd have to play him now, because we don't have our main guy Ricky Puig. And so having a veteran like that from the beginning, from the get-go, it gives you a certain calmness to come out and try to get 3 points. So the first half ends 1-0. Are you guys pumped at this moment that we could probably get the 3 points? Or are you like, you know what? Let's see what the second half has to offer.
I had just finished this amazing burger that I mentioned a while ago. So
what about the spicy weenie?
The spicy weenie. The spicy weenie was amazing too. Shout out to the Food for Less app with all the coupons. Got those spicy weenies on stuff. Yeah. Costco's great too, but Food for Less got their app too and their coupons. Anyways, we need a sponsor. We're just gonna throw out whoever names Food for Less would be great. No, but yeah, I felt comfortable. I also feel like, there was a moment. It might have been in the first half, second half, where Vancouver forced a save. But outside of that, we held Vancouver to nothing. Talk about calmness too, and it was throughout the whole game. I saw another level or different style in his play was Garces too.
Yes. I was actually very impressed with how Garces played in this match in particular, because we know he's a type of defender that goes in hard. Hardly thinks of the consequences, but throughout these midweek shows that we've been doing, Edgar always mentions that he's one yellow card away from getting left off the pitch for a match or two and getting fined. So maybe he has that in the back of his head, and maybe that's why he's playing a little, I would say, a little smarter in that center back position. And I think in this match it showed. All right, second half, boys. Let me pull up these stats, because in the first half, the expected goals were 0.34. In the second half, and this is where Joseph Paintsill takes over, the LA Galaxy's expected goals were 1.18 to Vancouver's 0.07. So that's still a big jump. Who had the crystal ball, right? Thinking that this Galaxy team was going to score 2 more in the second half, since they've been doing it all season, right? Scoring goals and not getting scored on. At the, what is it, the 60th minute? 60 something? There's a play between, I think Gabriel Peck gives it to Marco Reus. Marco Reus does a spectacular little heel flick and leaves it for Joseph Paintsill, who, to be honest, dude, I thought he was gonna miss that goal.
That touch, that first touch. I think we both yelled at the TV too when he did that first touch. We're like, "Fuck,
yeah. Well, in the stadium, I was there. You could hear everybody shoot.
Yeah. I mean, let's be honest. It wasn't the most confident first touch.
No, of course not. But beautiful layout by Marco Reus, showing his class and his
first time, bro, from a long ball.
Yeah, and surprisingly, I would say Joseph Paintsill puts in the back of the net.
Surprisingly, this season.
This season, surprisingly, he puts in the back of the net, because he kind of had one similar in the first half where he kind of shot it and just gave it to the keeper's hands. And then this one, he puts in the back of the net, and of course, he's there to celebrate. Mom's there to celebrate. Saw her son, score a goal, and I don't know if she saw him score the last time she wanted to see him play live, but she saw him score that match, and it's a beautiful moment. The LA Galaxy up 2-0. Edgar, are you guys still confident we could come out with 3 points after that second goal?
Eddie, were you confident? Because I don't know. I saw Galaxy cough up a 2-0 lead at Philly just a month and a half ago, and that still sticks in the back of my mind whenever I see them up. And of course, right, 2-0 is like the most dangerous score in footy. And we've seen this team snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. So, no, I wasn't confident, but because I've seen this team do some horrible things. But maybe Eddie felt better.
Did you feel better, Eddie?
I had just finished my third. No, I'm just kidding.
A third spicy weenie? Wow.
You bastard.
I felt pretty confident all the way around. I felt also, well, actually, there was one player that made me a little uneasy. What was his name? The dude that came in as a sub for Vancouver. He started just like dribbling. He had hair like mine. Well, he wished he did. But he had like the fro or whatnot. He started like kind of running amok a little bit, and he made me a little uneasy. But I felt like for the most part we had control. And I don't think I ever felt really. Was it Jaden Nelson? I guess was it him?
Yeah, Jaden Nelson.
Was it a dude that got the red card?
Is he? Oh yeah, what an idiot! You come in stuff and you get a red. Pendejo. Anyways, no quisiste jugar, quédate en la casa. Anyway, anyways, yeah, no, I felt pretty confident because besides that guy, I also didn't see any. Vancouver didn't seem like they had any bite in them. So it was besides that free kick, which we got a shout out, big save by Mikovic.
Oh yeah, I was about to mention that. What a one-handed glove to the ball. That was beautiful. I don't know who I was talking to about goalkeepers, but I think this is McCarthy's done, right? There's no more McCarthy.
He was in the injury report for this game.
Injury report, quote unquote.
Yeah. I mean, we've known that one of the options we have is shop around the keepers, right? That's why we did the extra signing for keepers. So I would say that that he's most likely on his way out. I mean, if he's got more value to him in a trade, yeah. And I'll say it again. To me he was an average keeper. Yeah, he helped us win a title and all, but he wasn't nothing special.
I mean, he did win back to back. Well, not the back to
Huh?
back, but he didn't. I was gonna say he won back to back, but no, he won with both the LA teams.
Yeah.
So
He
I
went to
think
three
that was,
finals.
yeah, I think that's all he could have done, right? I mean, the height of his career, he got 2 titles, and now he gets to retire. Or I don't know if he's gonna retire, but
Retired? You like retired him already? Fucking whatever, retired him.
yeah, retire, bro. I think it was Ananda that I was talking to about the goalkeeper situation. But Mikovic looked good in this game too, and it's not the first time that he's had some these spectacular plays where he gets a good save. There's been other matches where he has too. It's just I think in this year's LA Galaxy team, nobody's really safe of criticism. Um, and it sucks because the goalie, you're the last line of defense, and you probably get criticized the most, especially when you do big fuck ups when you don't know how to play out with your feet, or in Tapioca's case, Tapioca, he kind of just dropped the ball in front of Nastimiento and gave us a goal. So this goal happened in the 60th. Paintsel makes it. I'm happy. It's 2-0. 4th of July. I'm excited. 17 minutes later, there's a PK in favor of the LA Galaxy. And who steps up to take it? None other than...
Wait. We cannot just totally skip the fact that, hey, you said there was like some kind of object floating around the earth or something like that, Edgar?
Yes.
You don't think it's that shot
well-
that Fagundes took? Right after the foul?
An extra solar object. Yeah, that might be it, man. It might have flown out of the solar system and then flew back.
Fagundes had that ball landed right there, like 2 feet away from the goal line, and he just
Fuck that. Field goal.
yeah, dude. Thought the Chargers were back in town and shit.
And he described that nasty. Damn, for goodness, what happened there? He got too excited. Oh, here he comes! Here he comes!
He's launching
Playing
fireworks,
CDM, bro. I'm
man.
not supposed to score.
CDM. You know what? He played good in that role this last match.
He did.
There has been times where we have seen him play defensive, but I think this was probably a little bit more of a defined role for him in this match in particular, where he did have to step back. It's not like he can't do it. It's just he's not used to that. But anyway, 77th minute, the great Joseph Paintsel steps up to take a PK. Were you guys confident at that moment that Joseph Paintsel was going to put that in back of the net?
That's the one time.
Dude, we're Galaxy fans. We're never confident anyone lines up for a penalty kick. It doesn't matter who it is, even Royce.
At that moment, I don't know why, but I wanted Fagundes to take it for some reason. Maybe because we've seen him sky that tap in.
Right after that, you wanted him to shoot a PK?
Yeah, redeem yourself, bro. You're up 2-0, right? But I think at that moment, you just want to kind of bury it. And Paintsel stepped up and, secured his brace. Shot it to the goalie's right, our left. 2 goals under his belt. Mama's watching him play. What a more beautiful day for him. It's special to see him play like this because we know this is the type of player he could be all season. It just so happens that this season, and like I mentioned earlier, no player is free from criticism. And he's been, one of the players we've been, not shitting on, but have had heavy comments about how bad he's been playing, especially because he's a DP. So congratulations for making that PK. The Galaxy goal.
That's like the most impressive thing any Galaxy player could do is convert their PK.
Yeah, 3-0, boys.
You want to win the hearts of LA Galaxy fans?
Make a penalty.
Yeah.
3-0. Are you guys still confident that we're gonna get the 3 points? At that point, I think I am.
You just gotta
Just
touch Edgar.
I was like, no, they're gonna get 4 goals in the final 5 minutes.
Hey, San Diego gave up a 3-0 lead. Right?
It
To Houston.
No, was it 3-0 really?
I don't know if it was 3-0, but they ended up losing 3-4.
Hold on. I gotta
You double check that while I.
Who does it? If you didn't know this, let me see. 25, 67. Okay, it wasn't 3-0.
What was it? 2?
It looks like they were there was 1-1, and then it looks like it was 3-2. And then okay, cool. Anyways, why I said no, because to this day, I'm pretty sure this is still accurate. we're the only team to come back from 3-0 and win a match in MLS.
Was that at the first El
Tráfico.
Tráfico?
Yes.
I was there.
So that's
That was
why when
beautiful.
you said that, I was like, no. But no, it wasn't 3-0. So we're good.
The match ends. I don't think there's anything after that, PK, right? The red card happens. Oh, shit.
Watch out.
Take it easy.
The red card happens. Some subs. Oh, we had the question earlier about Sanabria. He came in for Mateus Nascimento at the 78th, right after the Joseph Painstill PK. Let me see. We'll get to the super chat. Oh no, I am getting to the super chat. You guys' thoughts on Lucas Sanabria's performance coming in as a sub? I don't think he didn't mess up.
I don't think there's much to say, right? I mean,
Because this is one thing with me. I have been critical of his game style, and I mean, let's be fair, he did have that injury to his collarbone. You know, it took him a little while to get back to some type of playing form. It seems like probably in these last 3 to 4 matches, he has been playing a lot better next to Cerillo. But coming into this match, I mean, he went in there and just did the same job that Fagundes did. Because after that third goal that the LA Galaxy scored, the LA Galaxy still looked dominant. Nothing was going through that midfield. So he did his job. So that's what you want to see with your subs, coming in, doing their job, keeping the same intensity as the player that you subbed in for. So for me, it was a passing grade. Nothing too spectacular, but nothing that we could shit on him for. So
yeah, clock in, clock out.
Yeah, so that's something that you do want to see from your bench player. So yeah, 3-0, gentlemen. The LA Galaxy stay home, get 3 points, 3 goals. Then the fireworks show was at the stadium. They had it at the field.
It was delayed, by the way.
I do want to give a shout out, by the way, since we're like MLSers here, and then we didn't talk about this a couple weeks ago either. Is one give a shout out to Nicolas Lodedo, right, in his MLS career. It's a wrap, right? He went back to Uruguay, I want to say. So us MLSers appreciate players like that. They're going to be legends of the league when you look back, and these are going to be like the people that took us to wherever to help us get to wherever the league ends up. And also Damir Kreilach.
Krylak with the Vancouver Whitecaps.
Yeah, this is a curtain call for him.
Yeah.
So shout out to him for an amazing career. Being an elite MLS player as well. As much as you hurt us when you wore the Salt Lake kit.
With the Salt Lake, yeah.
Guys, cool. It's crazy. We're getting to that age, boys.
Yeah, damn. I do have a funny story about the whole Krylak thing. So in the second half, I ended up sitting in 120. So like in front, like where the players warm up, the visiting players. Mm-hmm. So they were warming up, right? People were heckling them. You're not gonna go in the game, normal away fan banter. Krylak kind of faces the supporters and says, "Oh, hopefully I get to play." Everybody just goes up to him. Fuck you! in his retirement match, I was like, "No, guys, that's a fucking legend. What are you guys doing?" But now that you reminded me about the RSL thing, yeah, fuck that.
It's only the MLS. It's only the MLS sickos who know who Krylak is.
Yeah.
When we do a trivia in the future, he's gonna be an answer.
Yeah, I just thought that shit was funny because it was only till then that I noticed. Wait a minute, he's retiring. So I looked it up, and that was the last match in LA.
I mean, I didn't know until because I was watching it, so I heard it on the broadcast. Like, oh, that's kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah, and it was somebody that I would have been down to bring in.
Yeah, the guys you hate, but you'd love to have,
Yeah, 100%. Except Beckerman, fuck that guy.
Damn.
Yeah, the other guy. Yeah, the other Galaxy win 3-0. I'm happy. The whole stadium's happy. Before we wrap this game up, there was something that I noticed from Maya Yoshida. So again, in that second half, there was a moment where Mikovic had went down to grab the ball, and I think a Whitecaps player had kind of not hit him in the head, but they kind of like clashed. So Mikovic stayed down. And in that moment, Yoshida was tending to Mikovic. and his back was towards the supporters. When he turned around and he looked at the stands, which they were pretty empty and everybody was sitting down, the people were doing the silent protest. He kind of did a. I'm not sure how to describe it, but I don't know if he was disappointed or what it was, but I know people who are going to listen to this later. Go look at the YouTube version. He did one of these for those who are watching. He looked and did one of those.
I don't know what that means, but all right.
Yeah, so he kind of like. So I thought it was
like
an interesting
shrug.
Yeah, kind of like a shrug, like a. I can't really describe it in words, but that could be something. Not sure. But he did a gesture that it was an interesting gesture, to say the least. All right, boys. Our favorite part.
Wait,
Go ahead.
before you get on going, I thought it was funny. Some people reported that after the match, they announced that they couldn't start the fireworks show until all the players
Oh,
had
yes.
left the field, and that instead of leaving the field, that the Vancouver Whitecaps had 3 players running sprints for 17 minutes.
Yep, they did it,
and the
every time
crowd kept booing them,
Yep.
and they would not leave.
Hey, that's some great trolling right there.
Yeah, man. Go on.
Let us see the fireworks, you assholes. Nah, but it was cool.
I've got to get my sprints in.
It was so funny
Hear my fart.
because the people that were that were heckling while they were warming up during the match gave it to him even 10 times harder after that. Like, get the fuck off the field. We're trying to watch it. It was funny.
Damn.
All right, boys. Our favorite part, the awards. We'll start off with the game is off because I think this one's probably going to be the hardest one. Eddie, who do you think had a bad game or their game was off? The good old Gio award.
I'm pretending I froze so I don't have to answer. Shit. Geo word. Geo. I don't know. It seems harsh. Fuck it. You know what? I'll nitpick. Peck.
Yeah, I think this was a pretty hard match to kind of give a Gio. Where in other weeks we gave it to everybody.
Let's see what
Foot Mob has on, man.
Yeah.
Yamane is one of the lowest rated players that started, by the way.
Yeah, Yamane has the lowest.
Edgar, who do you have as your game is off award? Your Geo award.
I'll say Peck, man, because no, it's true. It's because his game is off, right? And in a match where somebody who's been snake bitten, like Joseph Peso, finds the back of the net twice, Gabriel's Peck is still having a hard time trying to really get things going. It's weird because a year ago more or less, Ricky Puig was out with injury, and that's when Gabriel Peck started really scoring goals left and right because his teammates were able to find him and give him the ball and distribute it to him. But the one thing that's missing from that team, from this team from last year, is obviously Mark Delgado, who was the one that was, at the heart of that, and he's not there now. So I don't know how they can get him more involved because we know what Peck likes. He likes when you pass the ball to him in the space and he can run into it and then create, or maybe cut to the 18. But I think he's got to find a way, man, to score again. And in this game, I'm sure seeing Pinto score, he's probably like, man, why can't it be me?
I guess I'll give it to
Peck.
Yeah, let's go with the sweep. But this is the thing, though. I don't think he played bad. I just think he could have had a goal in his match or maybe an assist. Maybe he's ready to move back to Brazil. Have you guys seen those rumors?
Yeah, keeps resurfing.
Yeah. What do you guys think about that? If it were to be true.
Wait, I want to hear Chewy's Gio.
Yes. Oh yeah, mine's Peck as well.
Yeah.
Sweet. 4 in a row.
Damn, we got the double brace. I don't buy it. I don't buy it just because I don't think he wants to go to Brazil. I think if I remember correctly, like he dreams of Europe, and I don't think the Galaxy is gonna let him go for cheap, despite the kind of season he's having. And I don't see a Brazilian team paying up. And the only way is if he's homesick, and the Galaxy is good about keeping relationships, and they'll figure it out. But at least surface level, I don't see it. I think it's just there might be interest. I mean, they can call as much as they want, right? I could give our Sunday team to call the Galaxy Ball Peck. It doesn't mean it's gonna happen.
And let us borrow him.
Well, keep in mind also it's silly season right now, in the summer, and that I just at the 6 months ago, 7 months ago, when season ended, we were commenting about how there's no way that Peck is going to be sticking around. By the end of 2025, maybe there's no way he would make it to the end of 2026. That we should enjoy having him here for as long as we could because he's not meant for MLS. And you look at where we are now. It's like this guy, like Eddie said, wants to take that next step to Europe, and heading back to Brazil at this point would seem kind of like a failure. I know some people say, well, sometimes you got to take a step back before you take two steps forward, but I feel like at this point, in his the evolution of his career, he's probably thinking, it's a rough spot. I got to get through it, but I'm closer to Europe here than I am literally in Brazil. So,
Yeah.
literally and figuratively.
You mentioned the summer. Are we concerned that there hasn't been any type of rumors of what potential targets the LA Galaxy might be going for?
With what money? There's
I
like no
mean,
wiggle room.
it could be small moves like moving McCarthy, bringing in another
Yeah.
whatever it is that the LA Galaxy needs right now. I mean, the LA Galaxy needs a full team.
I mean, LA Galaxy could trade J Mac for, I don't know, a standee or something of Krylock. Have him motivate players on the way out. I'm just joking. Maybe they can get Cholo Deon. I know he's on a premium. He's not like the regular Deon. He's Cholo Deon, and maybe he can mean mug players as they're going on onto the field and get them ready for the matches.
Perfect.
Yeah, I think our focus is already on next year, so I'm not really worried about any kind of signings. That if they do, if they don't, if somebody's available, and we can bring them in now. We have to like borrow the money. How we did like the weird, loan borrowing the TAM with interest or whatever. Then we'll do it. But I think it's unless it's like a home run, they're not eager to like sign anybody right now.
Which would be the smart thing to do, to be honest. Well, let's go to the You've Got Heart Man, the most honorable mention. Edgar, we'll start with you. Who had heart in this match?
Nasty Mento,
Damn.
who continues to ingratiate himself. This is what we had hoped, right? That he was going to be like a catalyst. And every week it seems like he just keeps maturing and getting better and refining his game, getting that confidence. I see he's going to be a very important piece of 2026. So he's like a long-term project. We knew that, but it's great that we get to see that now instead of having seen it earlier in the season when we really could have used them. But whatever.
Who you got, Eddie?
We'll see if he sticks around, Edgar. I think it's whether the Galaxy pulls the trigger and if he wants to stay, right? Because remember, it's loan, it's not guaranteed. It's gonna be it's gonna be Painsil for me. Painsil, he got 2 goals and whatnot, but can't dismiss the little rough start he had, right? And he couldn't have done this alone. There was a brilliant work done for him to be able to get these goals, but nonetheless, he buried the goals. So for that, he gets the You Got Heart Man because he's going through the rut and he didn't put his head down. It takes heart to, 1, be able to get that first one, 2,
bury a penalty.
Bury in the LA Galaxy uniform.
Yeah. I have to agree with that 100%. On top of that, he showed out for Mama. I love that. Like your Mongo watches you play. You want to play your best, and he scored 2 goals, and that's beautiful. So yeah, he gets an honorable mention from me as well. And by the way, fuck you to whoever keeps writing negative comments about Painsil.
Racist comments and stuff.
Yes,
racist. SMD. Whoever keeps doing that shit. Yes. Fuck out of here with that shit.
SMD. Unless you're into that, then no. fuck you anyways.
Yeah, fuck you. Fucking asshole. Well, it leads us to our next award, the most prestigious award.
Whoa.
It's right behind you.
Wait,
what did Chewy do to you? You didn't introduce him. You didn't ask him about the first one.
Dude, oh, wait, can anybody that's watching the show say that they can hear Chewy? Because I know in some of the previous episodes we couldn't hear him. So if you guys can hear Chewy, let us know.
A thumbs up if you can.
I think it's just his was it Luther Vandross, fucking, or Barry White, sexy deep voice that it's a little hard to hear if your headphones or your sound system can't hit those octaves, upgrade.
Too seductive for you. Chewy, who do you
Right.
have as your honorable mention?
Same guys. This time, yeah, Painto as well. I think we're all. I think we all saw the same game.
Damn, it's hot.
Oh shit! Nothing like lollipop on the 4th of July. Oh my god! Wait,
Okay.
what are we doing?
What are we doing?
Happy
Happy
4th of July.
birthday!
Yeah, happy birthday, Chuyazo.
It's the happy.
Dude, this
It's
is-
the 4th of
you-
July.
Dude, you are hosting, sir.
I totally
You-
dropped the ball on that one.
This is like forget Chewy Day for you.
Okay.
Whatever you guys have, whatever issues, please don't bring that shit in here.
Hey, when I
alright?
tell you to text me back, you text me back, all right?
Settle this shit outside, bro. Okay?
You know what? Let's sing happy birthday for Chewy. A la una, a la dos, a la un, dos, tres. Happy birthday to you.
Right, yeah. Oh, that's wearing that shirt for Chewy.
Oh,
you
we
go,
love
dude.
Chewy.
Mi escudo en su corazón. No contaban con mi astucia.
Sígueme las
Contaba
buenas.
con mi chuyazo.
Happy birthday, Chewy. Cheers to another year of life, and we love you, bro. Now, can we do the most prestigious award
Wait,
of all of them?
we didn't hear his award.
Yeah, he said Peso.
Oh, okay.
So this time, the next standing player of the match, we'll go with Chewy first. Birthday
Wait,
boy.
Eddie. The trophy's behind you, Eddie.
Oh yeah, it is.
For next standing, I gotta give it to a guy that I don't usually give it to, Marco. I feel he's been the guy. He's been the guy leading the charge, and his legs are not showing his age yet, but they're kinda.
You guys realize that Marco Royce is
Younger than all of us.
2 years younger than me and Chewy, and 3 years younger than Brian. And I don't have a calculator to figure out how much younger he is than Edgar.
Marco Royce could be
Calculators
my
don't
kid, dude.
Yeah, so that's kind of funny when you think about it.
What about you, Edgar? Who's your next standing player of the match?
I would say I would agree with Chewy. It has to be Marco Royce, man. It's funny because you look at him and it's like he's not even like really trying. He's just going out there like he's like a game of cascarita, and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna play with a bunch of kids here and not even really try. It's like I know you guys have done this before, where you go out to play a pickup game, and there's always this one guy who's like he's not even like really going 100%, and he's still like outclassing everyone. It kind of feels the same with him. Where you're like, man, I wonder what happened if Royce actually went in 100%. But maybe he's saving that for when Puig comes back. But for now, he's doing just enough. And that nice little pass to Pinto, woo, my goodness, that's beautiful.
Who you got, Eddie?
I can't agree with what you're saying because I don't know what you're talking about. I'm usually that guy on the pitch, but
Oh,
who else would it be? Right?
Yeah.
It's got to be Marco Royce. It's Vanny even said it. It's what did he say? I don't remember if he said he's smarter than everybody else or he's just better than everybody else. He said something though. Like
Along those
straight up.
lines.
He makes the game so easy. Dude, that pass off the fucking the long ball first time is that shit was just class. Into the path.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's not like Paintsill was standing there. He put it into the path of Paintsill. So yeah, its season is not great, right? But we've gotten some goals and some moments out of this season, and without him,
Yeah,
the season would be even darker.
100%.
Not just today, not just Friday, but he's like the season's probably gonna be the season's next standing player.
Yeah, I agree with you guys 100%. And it just shows what a veteran like that could do for a team. I know, but look, when I criticize them, I think those criticisms were fair. And now the praise is fair. You have a player who's on the later stages of his career playing like this with that calmness. He gives everybody else that security that they could give him the ball and he'll find them. In this match in particular, he was pulling the strings everywhere, and just to lay off. Oh, dude, get chulada that layoff to Painsil. Now that's class. I mean, that's what we brought Marco Royce in for to do. And it's unfortunate the LA Galaxy is not performing well on the table, but we're blessed to see a Dortmund legend play with the LA Galaxy. And next standing player of the match, baby. Let's go. Let's move on to the next segment, which is the questions.
Oh, no, Chewy did start it. I thought you forgot
Yeah.
him again.
Yeah. We started with him. Man, go eat your weenies, bro. We got some questions from Instagram. From Adam DC26. Would the LA Galaxy still win Vancouver with Barhalter and Brian White in the lineup? Will we beat them? And they had Berhalter and Brian White.
No.
And Ryan Gold.
And Ryan Gold. And no. Ahmed. Ahmed is still out with injury too. That was a beast. Yay, Gally! She's so cute, bro.
No,
yeah,
there's no way, man.
I think all of us will agree that we don't. That team, when they're fully healthy and they get into the playoffs, they're gonna be really tough out.
I think we go toe to toe with them with our last year's roster. Like, I think that's how good they are. I think Vancouver really does have a solid team.
Yeah, they do. They're really good. Through the moral lens, where do we place our priorities? Leagues Cup, playoff run, updating roster, or
wooden spoon, baby?
Wooden spoon. Here we go. Getting trophies no matter what. For me, I think it's Leagues Cup. I think I've mentioned this on other shows that Leagues Cup would be, I guess, a trophy. Hey, bro, what the fuck? You dropped her.
You dropped the dog, bro.
She jumped and she's okay, though. She's right.
It's Leagues Cup for me. I also want to see the LA Galaxy back in Champions League. And I think next season, if they do end up winning Leagues Cup, would have the team to compete. And at least a fully healthy team to compete.
No, yeah, Leagues Cup, because like you said, I think the main thing is that getting into the back to the Champions League, right? And then Leagues Cup could also be this. We all agree the season's a wash, right?
Yeah,
Done?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, all eggs in one basket, right? Leagues Cup, treat it as a tournament, treat it as like the measuring stick for. She's about to grab that scarf. Treat it as a just rehearsal for next year, right? Auditions, whatever you want to call it, however you want to phrase it. Go find out what this team is made of and where you fall short and what you have to focus on for next season.
And don't forget about Campeones Cup, by the way, which is gonna come up at some point.
Oh yeah, it's just one game, right?
Yeah. By the way, Galaxy does not have it easy. And Leagues Cup, you got Tijuana, and then you got Cruz Azul. So, and then there's a third match, but to be determined.
GG's. Logan Jones, the best pregame show with Mice and Men. Please, more bands. I wasn't in there for that.
I didn't get to see that,
dude.
but I like
you love heavy metal, man.
Mixed it up.
I did see our teammate Tony. He before the thing, he's like, dude, I just got a guitar pick from the guy up there. I was like, oh, what? And it was two Galaxy guitar pins.
No, that's really cool, man. He's from a famous metal band, and it's nice to switch it up instead of having the same kind of music all the time or the same kind of vibe. Sometimes you hear the same kind of mix when they have some DJs that almost come from the same genre, and you're like, come on, man.
Yeah.
So
he's done it for the past last year and this year.
Yeah,
he's done it.
Let's get other diversity in there. Let's get some hip hop. Just not Warren G in the way he did it. Don't make him DJ.
yeah, Murs, man.
Oh, Murs would be cool.
Let's get Big Sean. Fuck it,
Sonora Dinamita.
That'd
be sick. That would be sick. And that does it for the questions. Thank you guys for submitting questions.
We did have another question.
Appreciate. Yes, go ahead.
I wanted to address. It was Chewy, let me know when you're ready. You had a question, a super chat from Adam earlier. We can bring it up. Yes. It's a $2 super chat. Yes. Edgar.
Yes.
You have an idea of someone for the midweek show.
Yes.
And yes, not just anyone. someone that we've had on the show before. Obviously, we rarely get to play DC United anymore, but this is somebody who isn't just a DC United and a Washington DC legend. The voice of the Washington Wizards, the voice of DC United. He was. We found out when we first had him on that he was actually behind the mic for the very first ever Galaxy TV broadcast. So he's part of Galaxy history. Talking about Dave Johnson. So
May I, Edgar?
Yes, sir.
It's in the net. It's in the net.
Yes,
classic. That's in the net. Yeah, really nice guy. Always willing to help out podcasters. I know this past week he jumped on with the guys from Scarves and Spikes to help preview their match, and he's so kind. Like if anytime we need anything from him, he's just willing to do it. Also, he suffers from multiple sclerosis, something that his mother died from, and if you know anybody who's ever had that disease, it's very debilitating. It slowly eats at you until it reduces you to practically nothing, and it's a horrible thing to see. Um, I will be pushing to have a little drive to maybe we can donate something for him at during the midweek show. So if you want to help me in doing that, let me know. I'll put up these details tomorrow. But thank you guys so much.
Yeah, what a legend! I remember the last conversation we had with him. It was pretty cool.
Yeah,
Legendary
like,
man.
Just to put in perspective, he's like DC's Joe Totino.
Yes, I was just about to say that. And hopefully we can have Joe Totino on again one of these days. We did interview him once.
Is that a nudge, wink, wink to Edgar?
Oh yeah, have them both on Wednesday. Damn.
Oh, you know what? I got Joe's number. I could call up Joe and ask him. That'd be cool, right?
Well, we'll see. Stay tuned, everybody. Stay tuned.
You know?
I know. They just talk
They start going at it. What? So yeah.
But yeah.
All right, fellas.
Yeah. Anything else before we head out, guys? No.
Yeah, just like Eddie and I were talking about it earlier. I came across. I heard about it. I heard about that new Chespirito series that's on HBO Max. And I remember that I've had this shirt for like 30 years, and I was like, I'm gonna bust out the shirt because Chapulín Colorado, when I was a little kid growing up in Nicaragua, he was my first like superhero, and also it just happens to be the 4th of July, so
hell yeah,
Chewy, so
just for you, Chewy. As far as me, I'm wearing a One Piece shirt because I am fighting the government with my straw hat, and that is all. Eddie, you got anything else before we take off?
Puzzle piece.
There was a spoiler I saw that makes you want to watch Ironheart, so I'm excited about that. It's nice.
Yeah.
If you haven't heard, yeah. That's a big clue to the spoiler.
Okay, so, I'm probably gonna start watching it right now.
And then the printing studio is being set up back up again, like Edgar said. So
beautifully done. Would you like to plug in your page for people that want to follow?
Once we got something good going, we'll start putting out there. I got my boy Tony over here helping me out. So we'll get back to the drawing board. We have some projects that we had to leave Galaxy related that we couldn't get done. That's in the back burner, but they'll resurface soon, and I think you guys will like them. I think you might have seen a preview of them. So
beautifully done. Edgar, where can the people find you?
Y'all can find me on Instagram, Blue Sky, and Twitter as Edgar Nags, all one word. Very simple, very easy, whatever.
You can find me as Bryant Nags on Instagram and Twitter. Chuyaso, birthday boy, where can the people find you?
You guys can find me as Travis J.A., Travis Ha on all my social media. It's pretty easy, pretty simple to find.
Yay! And that's it from us from News Across the Galaxy. We're up out of here. From Eddie, Edgar, Chuyaso, happy birthday once again, sir. We're up out of here, and as always, keep on nagging and Wu-Tang for life.
For life.
Keep on.
Wu-Tang's for the kids.
It is. He is. Wu-Tang is for the kids.